Welcome, STEM Quick Wins webinar. Angela and I are excited to share our time with you today, to think about STEM, to think about how we can make it quick, how we can make it a win. And this is a webinar format, so it's going to give you the ability to look back at what we've talked about and use that as you see fit. And that's always wonderful when you can refer to it as necessary. Angela and I are here together. We have worked together for a period of time. We are both passionate about STEM. And when we think about it, especially working with young people and how we can excite them about the future. And that's something that we constantly are thinking about when we think about our program at the STEM Connection. We are a nonprofit here located in Indianapolis, Indiana, and our focus is educating and empowering children and adults in those principles of STEM. So science, technology, engineering, and math. And we're really focusing on those hands-on experiences. We want to have the best practices forefront in all we do, and we connect our work to the school day. So that's really what we're about. Here's a short video to help you visualize that a little bit more.
When a child has the opportunity to be in the experience, to be the finder and the doer and the creator, to learn at their speed and in the best way for them, that's when real meaning happens, when mastery occurs. How can we create those experiences that break down barriers for all children and allow us to come alongside that child young, and then as they move into the next stages of life? That is really where the power is. We are at the STEM Connection, located at Moore Road Farm here in Indianapolis. We run programming that excites young people about the future. We try to make STEM come alive for them.
One thing that I love about STEM Connection the most is that it answers the question that I get asked all the time. When are we going to use this in real life? I'm a math teacher, and so that's a question that I get constantly from my kids. At the STEM Connection, you find out where you can use these things in real life, and you find out that there's so many different opportunities.
You know, if we can help a child feel like I'm a scientist, I'm a technician, I'm an engineer, I'm a mathematician, even very young, it's going to stay with them.
Ready? You want me to cut it off for you?
Yeah. We have 6 programming opportunities. We have field trips that run year-round, day camps. In the summer, we run weeks of camp.
One of the favorite things that the kids have is to go down to the creek. They love creek stomping and finding all these bugs and things that are down there. You never really look for those. You're more just like playing in the water. But then we would be flipping over rocks and like collecting bugs. And there's like so many different things down there.
We have a program called STEM Quick Wins. This is a video resource that has a short activity sheet with it. We also have STEM family kits, and they allow us to connect with children that may not have the resources to do those quick STEM activities at home. It has a literature connection, and it has materials for more than just one child to do the program. And in addition, we have a program called STEM Future Leaders. This is for our middle school, high school students, and they get a chance to delve more into the leadership space, connect with STEM professionals, find ways to make a difference, and really connect to the next stage of where they're going.
I'm Jeremiah and he's James.
Mhm.
I want to be an artist or an animator. I want to be a scientist / engineer.
My boys are 11 and a half because apparently the half counts. They've done STEM camps, and now that they're in middle school, they're part of the STEM Future Leader program. So it's just been several great opportunities to connect with science, technology, engineering, and math over the course of the majority of their life, actually. They're super responsive to students' needs. And I think what's great about that is now I can see my boys explaining concepts to younger kids. And if you can explain this to someone else, that means you really have internalized that knowledge. The STEM Connection is open to all families. And when I say diversity, I don't mean just racially. I mean, there's focus on underrepresented groups such as girls getting into STEM, kids of all abilities, students with different sensory needs, cognitive abilities, coming to a place like this where they get to see all different kinds of people and learning how to work together. I think that's going to benefit them greatly in the future.
I want to trust young people that they know sometimes more than we do about how to learn and how to look at something differently. They're the future, right? They're the innovators now. They're the ones that are going to solve the big problems. So if we're just planting those seeds and setting up moments for them, that's really where I see the power.
So when we think about the STEM connection, we're thinking about how it connects to a greater world. We like to think about our ecosystem here and how our piece just connects and makes that difference in a way that's going to help that child kind of move through the process of having a STEM identity to building some STEM agency as they go forward. And those out of school time programs are really important. And that piece of helping come alongside families, schools, higher education, that business community and the STEM rich institutions that we have wherever we're located. So that's really where we fit into the puzzle. We're one of the pieces that can help impact and make a difference. And we're constantly trying to work with others on how we can come alongside children and teachers and families. I'm going to let Angela now kind of talk a little bit more about programs and help us jump in to our topic for today.
Yeah, so again, as they were introduced in the short video that we just shared, but here are the programs that we offer. And again, as we think back to that STEM ecosystem that we just looked at, really what the STEM Connection is trying to do is provide opportunities and programs that can kind of touch on a number of those different spokes of that ecosystem that we can, help those in a more formal educational setting, the teachers and students kind of in that school day setting, to the students or the youth and the families that participate in out of school time opportunities, to finding opportunities to promote STEM among older participants, our middle school and high school students, finding ways for families to engage with STEM, and then also providing support for the adults that work with youth in all of those different settings. So through those different opportunities, we really just seek to kind of support and enhance all of those different areas of our community, kind of within that ecosystem. And the way that we approach our programs is really thinking about STEM as being, that interdisciplinary, hands-on approach to learning, where we can think about the different kind of parts of STEM, the science, technology, engineering, and math, but how can we have those come together and provide experiences that bring those different disciplines together? And we can do learning of a number of different types of things, all kind of within one experience. And the way that looks is by utilizing STEM practices and thinking about, what sorts of skills do youth need to have a chance to practice and develop to help them be successful as they kind of move from one level of education to another, or as they move from more of an educational setting into the workforce? So just trying to think about, even at the earliest of ages, in elementary school, how can we provide opportunities that help kids develop these sorts of skills to help them, access information and make sense of information and how it connects to the world around them. So we kind of look to these practices as the things that we hope to be providing kids the opportunity to do. Also thinking about how that will then help them, be prepared for the future. Here are the employability skills standards that we have in Indiana. They are also a lot of times referred to as the 21st century skills. So how can we also provide opportunities to help youth kind of grow in their growth mindset? or in their social emotional skills or their work ethics and those learning strategies. So how can we kind of be looking at the bigger picture as well and thinking about those opportunities that will help them develop these other skills that we know will serve them well as they continue on in their journeys. We like to think about these a lot as our staff, as being, people that are in the workforce, and which of these skills, do we kind of find ourselves needing to really lean on at different times in our work experiences, because that helps kind of keep us connected and relevant with the work that we're doing with youth and helping them understand kind of why these are important. So Vera, I'm going to call on you for a second just to see if you would be willing to share for a moment about which of these 21st century skills are you kind of feeling a little bit connected to right now in the work that you're doing? What one feels kind of relevant and connected to you?
I would say collaboration. And I think collaboration touches on a lot of the other ones as well. That ability to problem solve, effective communication, having someone that can help make those decisions and that attention to detail. I feel like it really is important when we collaborate to kind of focus on all the pieces of this puzzle. But I'm really thankful for our team that, we're very honest about needing to collaborate and kind of deferring to others to help us navigate situations, especially as we're continuing to grow as an organization and shift and change. So I'm really thankful for that we are pretty good collaborators, but I think it's because we have these other areas that we fall on as well. And we all are different. So, different people bring different talents to the table, and that also helps us as we kind of go forward.
Yeah. And I think for me, thinking like the time management piece right now is one that kind of jumps out to me as we're kind of transitioning from, kind of a more of a planning period of time for our organization into a more heavy programmatic time, really thinking about, what are the priorities? What are the things that need to be, done, and who's going to do them? And when do they need to be done, and just being able to kind of think through your day or your week or your month and make those priorities and set up kind of timelines for things, I think is something that, is important. And it's a hard thing for kids to learn sometimes, but to them, to show them that adults do that too, I think is beneficial, and, giving them a better understanding that it's an important skill to have. So along with kind of those preparation for the future thing, we do also come down to, we're a STEM organization, and we want to be able to provide opportunities that are going to reinforce STEM content and help youth gain more knowledge in all of these different areas that connect to STEM. And what sorts of opportunities can we provide that is going to, help them gain STEM content knowledge in a way that's appropriate, appealing, and accessible. And I think that's really what our STEM Quick Wins program sets out to do, making content accessible and appropriate and appealing. And Vera is going to share a little bit more about the program specifically.
So I know Angela and I have been to many professional development opportunities over the years, and we always want to leave with something that's going to help us the next day. Like, I love to go back to my classroom or my learning experience with young people and have something that I can take right away and use. And this is a resource that we believe can do that. It connects all the pieces we were just talking about. It connects those STEM principles. It connects those STEM practices. It brings in that content and the employability skills. And I, as the facilitator of that STEM Quick Win with that young person, can decide where I want to go with it. It's really a piece that's relevant. It connects to STEM, and it's accessible, and it can be done in a short amount of time. So, that's what we know about it. We know it's such an important part of our work. And we are so excited to share a little bit more about STEM Quick Wins with you today. I'm going to show this short little quick video about what they are, and then we'll get into the next piece.
newer programs is our STEM Quick Wins program. The STEM Quick Wins came out of necessity. We usually see people in person in our farm space, and we saw right away that spring was not going to look that way, 2020. We had to think of ways to continue to serve families and youth, that the idea would be to create activities that could be done at home, at school, or wherever kids were doing their learning or spending their time, and have activities that could be done with easily accessible materials. The STEM Quick Win has the video, and it also has the activity sheet. They're based on limited supplies, so anyone can do them anywhere. And you watch it fast, you read it quick, and then you go ahead and do it. And we just want to see that doing happening as fast as possible. I'm Stacy Hernandez. I teach third grade, and I have used the STEM Quick Win videos to open a lesson that I've been doing in school. So I can show a video of a kid doing what we're getting ready to do. It gives just a little bit of background information about the topic so that it gets kids excited to try it out. I've used it as kind of the engagement kickoff for a lesson that we're doing in class, and it really does get the kids excited, especially when I tell them that I will take videos and pictures and send it to the STEM Connection so maybe they can be on their website. They think that's pretty cool. One of the beauties of being a smaller, newer nonprofit, we have the ability to be nimble and shift fast, and a board that's really supportive of that work, and a staff that's willing to say yes. So we shifted and started these, and they were pretty simple in the beginning. And then we were able to take time to kind of go, what do we want these to look like moving into the fall of 2020? We were able to bring on a videographer that could help us with his expertise and help us to be able to take those even further. And then we really were starting to hear back from teachers and parents. We wanted to look at data. So we tried to do some survey work to be able to say, what are we learning? And teachers were really receptive to what we were sharing with them. Parents were so thankful. We just saw this amazing opportunity. But we also realized that not every child has the materials at home. That's a barrier. So how can we remove that barrier was the next thought. We put together family STEM kits that then these families could do at home so that they could continue that learning even if they were virtual. So we found these two programs, STEM Quick Wins and STEM Family Kits, to fill a need. And I think even as we move out of some of the pieces of COVID, we're still going to have this opportunity that's going to reach out to families in so many different ways. It takes us beyond Central Indiana, and that's really exciting too.
Okay, so hopefully this is all working. It's weird because I'm the one supposed to be doing the video, but my name is Mark Niednagel, and I'm the videographer behind STEM Quick Wins and here at the STEM Connection. A lot of times I'll be filming the activities and I'm even learning myself. So it's a great opportunity for me to learn and grow. And I love being able to think through the lens of how the kid would see the activity and trying best to encourage the kids to think critically and kind of grow from it. Check out STEM Quick Wins every Wednesday.
So the STEM Quick Win just gives us the opportunity to have that activity for you as a free resource. They're on our website, and they include that activity sheet. And that activity sheet is both in English and Spanish. And then it has that STEM Quick Win that you can jump into with your students or your child, wherever you are. I could look at that video first. I could look at the activity sheet first. I can go different directions, but it's going to give me enough to be able to do that activity right away. If I watch the video, I could watch it with a child and then say, what do we need to do it? Or a class and say, okay, we want to do this activity. What do we need to gather to make this happen? Or I could also go from the other direction, reading the activity sheet first and then figuring out how to go from there. But they really just plant that seed about what we can do next and how that's going to look.
Hi, my name is Greta. Hi, my name is Katie. Hi, my name is Gigi. Hi, my name is Ava. And today's STEM Quick Win is...
Today's STEM Quick Win is brought to you in partnership with the Don Wood Foundation. To learn more about the content in today's STEM Quick Win, check out the activity sheet linked down below. There are 3 common types of matter found on Earth: solids, liquids, and gases. Each type of matter has unique properties and behaves in certain ways. Interesting things can happen when solids and liquids get mixed together.
Pour water into a bottle until it's about a fourth of the way full. Pour vegetable oil fill the bottle most of the way full. Add about 5 to 10 drops of food coloring. Observe what happened to the food coloring. Break a fizzing tablet in half and drop half the tablet into the bottle. Observe what happens to the tablet and what's going on in the bottle. As the action in the bottle settles down, add another piece of fizzing tablet to get things going again. Shine a light into the bottle to make it a lava lamp. That's all for today's STEM Quick Win. Thanks for watching. Bye.
So the STEM Quick Win is for you. It's a resource, it's an activity. And the reason why they're so important and why we're finding such a positive response to them is because they build that curiosity, they promote it, they develop that STEM identity, that child's in there. They really have that youth voice because we want young people in the experience. When we first started them, Angela and I and some of our other staff found ourselves in them more than we had hoped, but that was kind of the beginning and we were trying to figure out how they were going to look. We started off really wanting that youth voice and always having young people in them. And slowly we've found a way to pull ourselves out of the actual videos and really highlight the children because we want them to be showing how the activity is going to look. We also want to show that maybe the activity is not going to be perfect all the time. It may need some shifting and changing. And in addition, we also want to show young people reading information, working out the problems and finding the answers as they go. And I think those are all such important pieces when we think about STEM Quick Wins and why we can use them. They build those STEM skills. They let us start to think about measuring and modeling and creating, defining, setting things up for a possibility, setting up an experiment, seeing how it's going to look, considering ways to make it better. They can be done many places, and it's accessible materials. We really want that to be the case. We touched on the STEM Family Kits earlier on. That's a resource we also have available to schools and organizations. And what it does is it helps you put those materials together in a way that you could use with the children that you're working with. But if you don't have the STEM Family Kit, the materials are still accessible. We want you to be able to pretty much find them in your house or easily at the store if needed. And they really are fun because they encourage that collaboration. When you saw that STEM Quick Win I just showed, it showed different young girls working on the experiment together. They were collaborating, they were talking, they were all experiencing, they got to see their work, they got to see each other's work, and they were engaged with them because at the bottom and at the core, they've got to be fun. They got to make me happy as a facilitator, but they also have to make the young people happy. So we consider them good STEM, we consider them good fun, and we also consider them quick and a win for sure. So that's how they're set up and how we know that they look. Another thing about them is that they cover multiple disciplines. We really want them not to just cover life science or just physical or earth or those engineering pieces. We want them to incorporate all. And in addition, we want that math piece in there. We want that technology piece in there. So they're developed to cover multiple layers of what a child would be learning in the classroom and how they come alongside that. In addition to them being diverse and covering, multiple disciplines, they each contain that literature link. And we know the power of literature is so important these days. We know the more we can engage young people in reading in some capacity, in a book setting, connected to a piece of literature, if it's a read aloud situation where they're getting a chance to read it on their own, or maybe they're just engaging in the pictures, they're doing it with a partner. All of these experiences are so vital to our young people. We've had a strange couple years, and Angela and I were just talking about that and how we know that there are gaps in what children have learned. If we can encourage literature opportunities throughout all of the school day and then beyond, we know that we're coming alongside children where they need to be right now. We are seeing gaps, especially when we think about how they are in their reading journeys and whatever we can do to tie that into other learning experiences in an intentional manner can really make a difference. So every one of our activities has those literature connections, and we want those pieces to be something that you can pull in and you can use easily. Angela and I both love talking about literature connections. Angela, is there one here that you're identifying with right now?
Yeah, I know there's so many good ones. And these are a couple that are actually on that activity sheet, but there are so many. I think that's what is exciting is, STEM connected literature is an area where there's just so many new books coming out all the time. Some of them are nonfiction, some of them are fiction. Here we even have, kind of more of the comic graphic novel type of format. It's just really exciting to see all the different types of literature you can use. And though I really love JoJo the Wizard, I love that one, and kids find that one really fun. The everyday chemistry one that we see here, I mean, it just really connects with what we're trying to, the work we're trying to do, and making, some of these higher level or abstract concepts like chemistry become relevant. And where do we actually see that? And so this story just kind of goes through the day, and thinking about all of the different places and ways that we could see matter and how matter interacts and where that connects to everyday life. So just the relevance of that one, and it's set, in more of that nonfiction type of, storybook format, but it really has a lot of good science in there. So that one I think I'm kind of drawn to today.
I love that one. And I love that thought of connecting, the abstract to a more concrete piece of information or an experience for a young person, and using that vocabulary. I mean, what we know is children are in science all the time. They're in STEM all the time. It's happening around them. If we're just there to help make that connection, to help add that new vocabulary word that helps them understand everything around them's matter, that's helping them set them up for the next step. It helps them as they start to hear those words, they become part of their world. So when they hear it in another place, they can identify with it. They can use that information. So I love that. Thank you so much for sharing, Angela. And I'm going to let now you talk a little bit about where you can find our STEM Quick Wins.
Yeah, so some kind of logistical things here. Where can you find our STEM Quick Wins? There's a number of places that we have them available for everyone who is interested in looking for them. So a first place you can look is on our website. There is a STEM Quick Wins page devoted to, from our website that are devoted just to STEM Quick Wins, providing more information, providing links to all of the different playlists of videos and activity sheets and all of that. So that's a great kind of one-stop place to find kind of all of the content. We do have a YouTube channel that's called STEM Quick Wins. So if you're interested in looking for those straight at the videos, you can just go to YouTube and search for our channel called STEM Quick Wins, and it'll have all of the playlists ready to go for you right there. And then on social media, every week we post a new and updated STEM Quick Win activity. So this was the one kind of fresh from this week that is accessible for you that way. So kind of however you kind of feel comfortable accessing those videos and activity sheets, they are there for you. And as you think about, or we look at how they're organized, if you go to our website, you'll see there's a little bit of information at the top, and then each of these little thumbnails is a theme of some of the activities. So we have over 100 activities available to you, and they are grouped by topic or theme, and there's at least 4 activities within each theme. Some of the themes have 5 or 8, maybe more activities, but you're always going to have at least 4. So on the website, you can click right on there. These are also the same names of the playlists when you get to YouTube, so they're connected in that way. When you get to YouTube, you can find the activity sheet linked in the description section of the video, but then there's also a list of all the activities on the website. And for those of you that have more of that accountability to the standards, if you're in more of a formal learning environment or even in that out of school time, and you're really thinking about your standards, these activities are aligned to the next generation science standards. So if you are on the website, our STEM Quick Wins page, and once you scroll down past all of the topics or all those themes, you'll see that little button, that info for educators. So whether you're a formal or informal educator, it's a great place to go that will take you to a spreadsheet. Here's just a little kind of snapshot of it where it's going to show you the name of the STEM Quick Win activity with the link right to that activity sheet, which theme or YouTube playlist it kind of connects to. The disciplinary core domains, so whether that's life science, physical science, earth space science, engineering, math, kind of what combination of those domains are addressed in that STEM Quick Win, and then those cross-cutting concepts that are reinforced within that particular activity. So that spreadsheet is right there on our website, accessible for anyone, and that will take you to those activity sheets and also has that information about the standards. So that is hopefully helpful to you if you're thinking about how or when you might be able to use STEM Quick Wins with the youth that you are working with. And as we have seen over the past few years that STEM Quick Wins have been in use, they can be used in a variety of different ways and in lots of different settings, which is really the intention, is that they're, available for families to use, or teachers or youth workers, kind of wherever you are working with youth. So we know they can be done, with kind of more of an adult leading, where maybe you are working with a group of students and you choose an activity, you watch it and you kind of participate in it together as a group, whether that's a class or an out of school time group, even a family. Hopefully that is one way. You can have, we think it's important for opportunities for youth to have kind of some voice and choice in the things that they're maybe interested in or feel connected to or want to learn more about. So it's always fun to set it up to let, the youth choose an activity that could be, a specific, from a whole list of activities or maybe within a specific theme. And then, provide that time for the youth to do that activity and report back. Again, kind of assigning something, if there are, if you do have something that you're a little bit more accountable to, or that the kids might be a little more interested in or need more exposure to, kind of choosing something and then letting them kind of explore that on their own. It's really fun to set these up as stations or centers, and that can be great for a family night, or that can be great for just in the classroom or during a summer camp. Lots of different opportunities to have a couple of these activities set up at the same time and let students kind of, or the youth, work their way through a number of activities. And something else that we found to be really successful is when you have some older youth leading activities for some younger kids. And allowing, maybe middle school students to choose an activity that they can then lead and share more about, because it's reinforcing the content for the older kids and helping the younger kids kind of be introduced to things. So those are just a few of the ways that we've seen. And Veer's going to share a little bit more, showing some examples of these STEM Quick Wins in action and how we've actually seen them used in a variety of different ways over the past couple of years.
Thank you, Angela. And what I think of when I'm hearing you talk about the STEM Quick Wins and this opportunity, I think what's really exciting for me is that they are a free resource. They are something you can grab and go. And I remember always trying to find activities that aligned with what I needed to teach in the classroom. I needed to find something that made those standards come alive and helped my students move towards mastery. And I wanted something that was relevant, that was exciting, that would grab their attention, but also was based on best practices and also connected to the content. I think we've really found that here in the STEM Quick Win. And that's why I am so thankful for this opportunity to be able to share it with you. Thanks to Angela for really being a big part of making them happen over the years and to kind of see where they are now. This is a free resource you can use. We'd love to hear how you do it. I loved how she just set that up, kind of giving us some ideas. And And these are ways we can actually see it come to life. We've seen it in a classroom setting, and this is a 3rd grade code dance where they're thinking about unplugged coding. And this is what they came up with.
Action.
So they wrote out that whole program on how it was going to look, and then they had to make it happen. So I love just seeing how they made that come to life for us. Another one that we've seen is happening at home. So this is Ben and Molly, and they had opportunity to jump in and create some soil painting from a STEM Quick Win they watched. So they got really down and dirty. They had a lot of fun, and then they extended it. They're the ones that took it to the next level. Molly decided she was going to make some slime. So she decided she wanted to make soil slime. So she took what she'd done with Ben, took her slime to another level, and brought in some soil to it. So just really neat to see that extension. And I love that you have Ben, a younger sibling, and an older sibling working together on this and kind of finding out where it's going to go next. Another thing that we've seen is teachers using it as a weekly challenge where they kind of set it up and say, go ahead, take a picture of your experiment from your STEM Quick Win and add it here. So a way a teacher can kind of make that come to life and be able to have that happen in that way. So she set this up this way. So then when she got to see what was happening next, she had a couple of children share what they did. They chose which one it was. So that idea of youth, voice, and choice. Here's the library of opportunity. You pick the one. Jonah created a stress ball. Ryan and Michaela did the cup challenge. Eli decided to do the melt and ice cube. And what I love about this is then they shared it back with each other. So even though Jonah was all in on his stress ball, he got to hear about what Ryan and Michaela did. And also Eli. And then he might have thought, I really wanted to try what Ryan and Michaela were up to. Or Eli, I love Jonah's stress ball. And even in that learning experience, that crossover of knowledge, that peer-to-peer learning, which we know is so powerful, that use of vocabulary that Jonah might have picked up in his experience and Ryan and Michaela might have picked up in theirs, was really interesting to see in this kind of connection. Another one on that teacher weekly challenge was what happened with this. We have this Ava over here creating the lava lamp. And she took it to that level where this teacher used it and they were actually writing out and answering in, what was the activity you choose? Did you pick it? What did you learn? And I love this one. What would you do differently next time? I love that extension, that having that young person be able to think about what they're going to do with it and then making it happen. I mean, that's where that magic's happening when they're taking that learning and wanting it to go in a direction that's going to take them towards more mastery or maybe empowering them to take on new information in a different way, maybe even to fail. So I loved that kind of connection there that this teacher put together. And then we've seen it also come out with some great pictures. I love Emily over here with her face. It's just like perfect. She did her different stress balls and she did different ones to compare them. So she decided she was going to try something out. And she actually went further and made those different ones in her next time. So just thinking about those teacher weekly challenge opportunities and then thinking about how I could use that with my own students or an out of school time experience. I love that idea of taking that information home, maybe doing it with your family and what that looks like. Another way we've seen it happen is a middle school out of school time challenge. So setting up the young person, that middle school student, here's the STEM Quick Win library, pick one of these and now go ahead and do it with your sibling or your cousin and let us know how that looks. And let's see what that one looks like. I'm having a little technical difficulty with this one. I would invite you to just try it out and see how that looks, but definitely a great way to encourage that middle school opportunity to kind of have them try the activity and then go ahead and have them do it with their young person, I think it's just a great way to connect the STEM Quick Wins. And now I'm going to let Angela share a little bit more about our resources.
Yeah, and just like always, we just like try to think about, we're just talking a little bit today. We only have a little bit of time together to just kind of start the conversation and to start sharing information about STEM Quick Wins, but there's always so much to kind of learn. So these are a few of the resources that we used just to pull in some of the information for today. So if there's, a piece that you're a little bit more interested in, this would be the opportunity for you to a starting point to learn more. So the first one is just that, again, that website to the STEM Quick Wins page that we have on our website. And then just a couple other resources, really thinking about that STEM ecosystem idea, thinking about with that 95% solution, it's really kind of focusing and sharing more information about how so much of our science or STEM learning happens outside of the classroom through those STEM rich experiences at, museums or camp opportunities or just videos that you might watch or shows or articles that you read. So thinking about, how so much learning can happen outside of the classroom. So if you're in a situation like that, that would be a great article to check out just to give a little more information about that. And then again, just about the hands-on aspect of learning and why that is such a best practice and how it can have a lot of meaning for kids and relevance. So all of these STEM Quick Wins are hands-on for the kids to be engaging with and doing, and that's just a little more of a connection to that piece. And again, there's a little bit more from the STEM Connection, other educator empowerment opportunities. We'd love for you to connect with us via social media. That's where you'll find the most up-to-date kind of information. That's where the newest STEM Quick Wins will be released and shared kind of most quickly for you to access. So we'd love for you to follow along on Facebook or Instagram or subscribe on YouTube because you'll be kind of then the first to know about the new offerings and when new content related to STEM Quick Wins and our other programs comes out. And then finally, if there's any other questions you have related to STEM Quick Wins or any of our other programs that we have, please reach out. That is my contact information there. And again, where you can find us on different social media channels and our website. So if there's something more you want to learn about or are interested in and want to kind of keep the STEM learning with the STEM Connection going, please reach out and connect with us in whichever of those ways works best for you. And we thank you so much for joining us.